So many people are landing in my DMs and saying, help, I'm feeling the crumble. Help, I'm feeling like my life is falling apart. Or help, I don't really know where I'm going. So I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about what I believe is happening. So this is called the crumble, and the crumble is not a bad thing, okay? So the crumble is a great thing, because when we start letting go of our attachments, we create a more conscious life. When we start to understand that we are here ascending while still in a body, everything can change. When we realize that we aren't really in control, our souls have chosen what we want to do, how we're going to do it, the experiences we're going to have. So we are essentially in control, but not from this kind of cognitive standpoint. Our subconscious is such a huge part of our reality. And honestly, we've already chosen what we're here for. And then all we have to do is really lean into it. So when the crumble happens in your reality, what is actually happening is it is crumbling away the old patterns, beliefs, ancestral trauma that you've attached to yourself, and what you think you're meant to do, and what you think you're meant to be, and what you think you're meant to hold on to. But the absolute truth of it is, when you are choosing to have a conscious life, you have to do the crumble. This doesn't mean the crumble has to be hard. This doesn't mean that you have to let your whole life completely dissipate and turn to nothing. But if you can have more understanding, that the more conscious you become, the more heightened your awareness becomes as well, then you have an easier viewpoint of how to go forward. And this is surrender, faith, trust, unshakable faith, trust and surrender. So what is that for you? What is that for you when it comes to your crumble? When it comes to thinking, oh my gosh, my whole life is literally falling at my feet. My relationships are shifting. My work is shifting. My points of views, my beliefs are shifting. Things just aren't like they used to be. This is happening for everybody, and it's going to become more and more intense as we are reaching 2030. It's going to become a lot more intense, a lot more prominent as we start seeing relationships, businesses, our relationship with ourselves all changing. It has to change. We have to change. We can't stay the same, because we wanted to go from a 3D paradigm to a 5D, which means we're going from more dense to more flow. We're going from more of a masculine structure to a more flow structure, which is literally more heart-led. It is more emotionally led as well. So this is a really emotional time. So when my clients message me in my inbox, or my audience is messaging me and commenting on my YouTube videos and whatnot, they talk about this Shakti rising. They talk about the Kundalini as well. And it's huge. We can have like physical shifts in our body. And you know, one of the things that I've been currently experiencing in my world is my neck being really stiff, my body being like super stiff. And I realize this is a manifestation of me trying to hold on to everything that I've created. I want to hold on to my business, and hold on to my clients, hold on to my friendships, hold on to my relationship. And if we can literally dissolve and transmute all of our attachments, then we get to recreate them. We get to recreate them in a way that is even more powerful. We get to recreate them where we can have stronger relationships, stronger business, stronger sense of self, because we are conscious leaders. We are here to shift the paradigm. We are here to create greatness. And that means that everything that wasn't working in this 3D paradigm, it has to change. It has to shift. We must realign as a world. Earth must shift. So I'm really curious, how is your life going when it comes to this energy of crumbling? We get to ascend over and over and over again. Now, this is the thing that really inspired me about having this live while I'm doing my makeup. And what that is that too many people are waiting until they die. They're waiting until they die to then go to the Book of Akashic Records and go, okay, I've done this and this and this, and then I want to do this now, and etc., etc. And they are bypassing all of what they could go through in this life. So what I've been really finding in my different containers, like Reborn and MM, and even in my membership, is I'm finding that people are saying to me, oh my goodness, the crumble is happening, and I'm having these feelings from 30 years ago, or this memory came up from like, I don't know, 25 years ago, and what is happening is I'm having all of these memories and feelings and guilts and shames, and I'm not really like sure what to do with it, because now I'm married and I've got kids and I'm actually really happy. So why is this coming up? And a lot of people would say, don't worry about it. Just ignore it. Just focus on the future. And what I say is, you're ascending, right? And if you're ascending and you haven't dealt with the issues that you went through when you were 18 or when you were 13 or when you were 30, whatever, if you haven't dealt with those issues and you are choosing to be more conscious, you're choosing to be a leader here, going into this 5D paradigm, you've got to clean it up. That doesn't mean sitting in it. It doesn't mean dwelling in it. It doesn't mean allowing yourself to go into woe is me, you know, my parents fucked me up, or like, you know, that ex-boyfriend, he ruined my life, you know, or that assault that went, you know, that happened to me. This is why I can't do anything because I'm a victim. No, it's not about going into a victim mentality. It's about going into that timeline. And this is what we do when we die, is we're going into this energy, into this timeline of, okay, well, how do I heal this part of me? And we all know that we are amazing healers. We're healers of self, right? We heal ourselves. When we do Reiki, any type of modality that we do is healing of self. We don't really heal each other. We witness each other and we contribute to each other. We don't really heal each other. So how can you ascend over and over and over again while you're here living this life, being the conscious leader? Enlightenment is not, and doing consciousness is not about always being in joy, bypassing the feelings, bypassing the emotions. And some culty religions will tell you that, like, you should always be happy, everything is light and love and la la la. And they are lying, because we have got this 4D energy, and in the 4D energy we must shine light on our shadows. We must not bypass it. So when people come to work with me in one-to-one, their shadows will always come up. Their shadows will always come up, and they will always need to go into that timeline to do work and to heal that part of them. Why? Because they're ascending and they're not choosing to wait until they die, to go to that book of the records, to review everything and to decide what lessons they want to do next. They're deciding to do it now. And that is why when people come to work with me, they will always go through this 4D paradigm shift. This is what I'm here for, is to help them, witness them, right? Witness them as they are going through such a profound shift in their reality. So, does that make sense to you? How does that feel for you? All right, so I hope you've enjoyed this mini little video about the crumble, about the 4D, about the 5D. Now, if you are a person who is here to create a more conscious awareness in this reality, then you've got to learn and understand that you will be rebirthing over and over and over again. And my program Rebirth, I share the 5 steps, the 5 processes of rebirthing, but it's not a one-stop shop. Life is not a one-stop shop. You go get a meal and then you're going to be hungry again. You know, you go have a shower. You don't just have a shower once. You go have another shower. You cleanse again. You feed yourself again. You learn again. It's a process. But what if your crumble didn't have to be an absolute diabolical drama fest? What if it could be a lot more graceful and with a lot more ease? And that's what I said to a client this morning. I said to fix my lipstick here. What if you didn't have to be on struggle street? What if you could have more compassion and more grace for yourself? What if you could do that? What would you choose? What would you take off your agenda for that day? And I know for me, like I said, I've been having like quite a lot of like sore neck issues. I hold a lot of tension in here and I carry a lot of stuff up there. So the question that I've been asking myself is, how can I have so much more ease and so much more grace for myself? How can I let my schedule actually loosen up a little bit? How can I take some of those things off my plate? So rather than doing 28 videos a day, what would it take for me to do one good one? What would it take for me today, because it's my husband's birthday, what would it take for me to have an entire day where I'm just with my family and then I work a couple of hours later? What would it take for me to work around my life and my feelings? That is what we're creating in this world, is working around our feelings, our emotions, and what is truly going on for us, rather than like, I've got to go to work and I've got to live this life and I've got to be in this hustle. And that might be true to begin with. It was definitely true for me until I decided to change it. And I chose to create. It didn't magically appear in my hand. I chose to create a more conscious life where I get to live a life by my design, how I want to live it. And that was my carrot. That's what got me to where I am now. And there was a whole lot of crumbling that happened with that. Like copious amounts of conscious crumbling, allowing my attachments to be detached and allowing myself to see the shadows, to see the parts of myself that I have not been willing to see. And that means timeline stuff comes in as well. That means we get to tap into different ages and different stages and reparent ourselves. Maybe we do some EFT, whatever that means for you is energetically correct. Always make sure if you are straightening your hair, you use heat protector. Otherwise, you bugger your hair big time, okay? That is a non-negotiable. Always use heat protector. that's coming from an ex-hairdresser of 20 years. So I would love to hear from you guys. How are you feeling? And just please remember, a lot of what you are feeling is you empathing. We empath on others. And people that land in my inbox, my one-to-one clients, have usually got a very similar story. I'm struggling right now. Life feels quite clunky right now. I feel like I'm upper limiting right now. All the things, okay? So quite often we are working together in this collective energy, but our individual expression and our self that needs to go through these timelines for our own ascension is a very personal one as well. So there's no right or wrong in how you're doing this. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can hear more of the channels that come through. And also we've got so many trainings coming up and in this YouTube video into this group already. Okay, so make sure you subscribe to Victoria Bond and also come over to the Awaken community with Victoria Bond on Facebook. And I'll catch you guys soon. Bye.